Well, hey there. Welcome to Ask a Best-Selling Author. My name is Dr. Angela, the Author Incubator, and I am joined today by best-selling author Majeed Mogharreban. He is the author of Fearless Leadership. So today we have a question that has a little bit to do with fear. The question is, I want to write a book, but I know it's going to take a serious investment financially, and I am scared to make that investment. What's your advice?
Well, I can certainly relate to that one because I was scared to make the investment. Not only scared, but actually unable. At the time that you made the offer to me to join, I didn't have the money. And not just didn't have the money, but didn't even have the credit on the credit card. So I had to move some money around. I knew I wanted to work with you. I knew I wanted to write a book with a publisher and have a good quality process. And I've gone through some money mindset issues through the time that we've been working together, absolutely. One thing I could say is it's just money. It's just money. And that was helpful for me.
But you're saying that, and I want to share with people, I hope this is okay, but you're married, your wife has been on, I know you live in Canada, so they actually pay you for these things, but I don't think you get your full salary. She's been on maternity leave.
Yes.
You have 2 kids, and they are at the expensive stage.
Yes.
They're always at the expensive stage, but they're little kids.
Yes.
So it's easy to say it's only money, but there are people that maybe need to be fed, for instance.
Yeah, it was a tough time, actually. The time that I decided to write a book was not a good time financially. It wasn't like we were rolling in money.
Or that you could just send your wife off to double her career.
Yeah. I knew I was at an important point in my business where I wanted to get to the next level, and I wanted to have a solid marketing platform and a solid message that the book would do for me. And I went the cheap route, the first book. Do it yourself the whole way, source it overseas, piece by piece, try to figure out the process, and it was a disaster. So I knew that was not the right way for me. And there's a little saying that you can have fast, high quality, or cheap, but you can only have 2. If you want cheap and fast, it's not high quality. If you want fast and high quality, it's not cheap. And whatever the third one is. Okay, so you guys are high quality and fast, not cheap. Not cheap.
Nope.
And I was looking at another program that was even more expensive, and the thing they say is they sit you down, they interview you, and then they just do the book for you. And that sounded very attractive. And you shared with me in your process that actually there's a lot of transformation that happens from writing the book yourself by becoming the person who you want it to be. So I thought that's a better fit for me. But yeah, the investment was not small. And I knew that if I made this level of investment, I had to take it seriously. I had to get the results because I could not look my wife in the face and say, yeah, I spent the money and I decided I didn't really want to follow through. So the fact that it was relatively higher priced actually encouraged me to follow through, take action, make it serious. Because my way of doing it the first way was self-publishing, was watching different YouTube videos and trying to figure out different strategies and interviewing people and just trying to figure it out myself. Disaster. So the higher price made me take it seriously. It made me feel like this is a commitment, and my wife was on board, not necessarily for the spending the money, but the saying look, if you are spending the money, this is the priority. You really do it right. So I got the quality and the speed and really made it my focus, and that actually helped me quite a bit.
Do you think if somebody is scared to make an investment like this and they can't quite get their head around it, do you think it sometimes makes sense just not to do it?
Sure, I'm sure. Doing nothing and is always an option. And it's usually the safest option in the sense of it's familiar, and even if it's stuck and even if it's painful, it's familiar, right? Making this investment meant that I needed to go to a new level that's completely unknown to me. That's scary. So what makes it the right decision for someone? I can't really say. I mean, if they're not truly feeling called to make a difference, make an impact, work with their ideal clients, if they're not truly doing it from a servant's heart, as you say, and they're thinking like, well, if I do this, I can make a lot of money, that's probably not going to work. And I think you do a good job of weeding them out through your application and interview process anyway, so I don't think that's going to happen in your business. But yeah, you really got to make the decision like, I'm doing this before you spend the money. You don't spend the money and say, I'm going to give it my best shot,
right,
and just try. That's not good. That's not good. And then what? Be disappointed about, ask for refunds, and I don't think you don't do refunds.
No.
So I think you have that built into your process. Is like they need to have that made up in their mind before they buy. But if they're not certain that they're going to go forward with publishing a book, that they're going to go forward with making a difference, and they're thinking, I'll give this a try, that would be a bad move.
Got it. Great answer.
Yeah.
All right, well, if you're scared, that is normal. And you got to hear from somebody who got through that fear and got the result. So hopefully that has given you some inspiration today, and you will join us again for another episode of Ask a Best-Selling Author.